The Super Nintendo is a really neat system. 16-bit technology and 3D graphics for games like F-Zero and Star Fox. 16-bit technology for classic games that were just upgraded to 16-bit counterparts such as Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Yoshi's Island, Mega Man X, and Chrono Trigger were all in this system. But what games were on here that Nintendo had published, licensed, or released that are not as talked about today but are really hidden gems? Super Mario World was really great, but what about Jelly Boy? Jelly Boy is a Super Nintendo game published by Ocean Software and developed by Probe Software. Jelly Boy puts the player in control of a jelly baby with morphing powers. You don't see that every day. His quest is to find various items inside a factory so that the elevator doorman will allow him to meet the person in charge. Why not just call customer support then? Fun fact, this game was never released on the Super Nintendo. Well, not exactly. It was only released on PAL systems, not in North America. So it was only in European countries. It was re-released on the Nintendo Switch Online service for the Super Nintendo Collection in 2021, which is where I'm playing it right now. The game itself isn't that bad, but it gives Mega Man vibes in the sense that you have different types of ways to complete obstacles, and the game is fairly short. Toy Story is a great movie. Although the animation in the mid-90s was a little scary, it still gives some really good character to Buzz and Woody. Nintendo wants your rights. Yes, the hit movie, Toy Story, which released in 1995, got a video game released on both the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Although the graphics and the music is better on the Sega Genesis, you get better gameplay on the Super Nintendo, and the voice lines are much less crisp and raspy. It's better on the Super Nintendo, and the entire game is literally the storyline of the first movie, but they put every game type on this one game. Overhead driving, 2D platforming, 3D gameplay, 3D driving. It's honestly crazy how much effort they put into a third-party 16-bit game off of Toy Story. The game itself was published by Nintendo, and it was developed by Disney Interactive and Traveler's Tales. Mario Kart is known as a huge series by now, and many people have their favorites like Mario Kart 64, Double Dash, Super Circuit, Wii, DS, 7, and 8. Notice how I never mentioned Super Mario Kart? Released in 1992 by Nintendo, Super Mario Kart is a 2.5D racing game, meaning that it's a racing game trying to be 3D, but it's only using 2D Super Nintendo sprites. I mean, sure, Donkey Kong Country on the SNES used 3D models pixelated, but we didn't have 3D models of Mario characters until the Nintendo 64. And let me just say that the Nintendo 64 models look great for their time, but I would stick to the current models. Anyway, Super Mario Kart is not wide range of customization as how the current ones do, but it's great for playing a racing game on the Super Nintendo. The only characters here are Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Toad, Koopa, and strangely Donkey Kong Jr. Not even Diddy Kong was in this game. Most of the tracks here were based off of levels or worlds from Super Mario World. And because of the FX chips put onto the Super Nintendo, they put perspective driving instead of the overhead driving like Rally X and Famicom Racing have. If there's anything I do know from my experience is that nobody talks much about Super Mario All-Stars. This game was released in 1993 on the Super Nintendo and was re-released with Super Mario World included. It was re-released again for the Wii for Super Mario Bros. 25th anniversary. The game itself was a compilation of NES and Famicom Super Mario games for the Super Nintendo. Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 with a new game on here too. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. This was how I grew up playing the Lost Levels. It's the first 3 games in the same in their respective mechanics, formats, sprites, everything. Only that they're souped up for the 16-bit technology. However, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels was new, so nobody knew about the differences. The Lost Levels was in the original sequel to the first Super Mario Bros., except that the reason why it was never released here in the US is because Nintendo thought it was too hard and looked too similar to what the first one was like. But I'm not a coward. I'll complete this game if I can. Damn it, they were right!